The focus of this series of vlogs, as they're called, has to do with the casting out of demons. I know this is a very weird subject, and I would like to avoid it altogether, but generally that's not possible, particularly in our age that is so very open to and accepting of occult practices, which are serve as the gateway to demonic invasion and possession. This is not a new topic. It's gone on for thousands of years. And Jesus cast out demons during his ministry, and Christians all the way through have. I have experienced it many hundreds of times, and a very real thing. I wish it were not so, but it is. Now, the story I'm going to tell now is about a woman who was a writer for Time magazine. I'm going to try to keep it as short as I can, but this is a wild and woolly story, I got to say. At any rate, at some point in the mid-1970s, I received a call from this woman who lived in Marin County. This was in December, part of the year, and she said she would like to come and witness one of our deliverance ministry events. And so I said, okay. She had heard about it, had actually been assigned by the magazine, and so wanted to come and see. So one dark and stormy night, I got to tell you it was, and cold, I picked her up at her apartment in Greenbrae, drove her up to Novato to our what we call Deliverance Temple, and with Mark Buckley, we regularly met. I believe it was Thursday evenings, and people would come in and we would have ministry casting out of demons. We had a number of teams that did this. There were so many people because of a couple of books that I had written. But in any case, so we had this lady, I'm not going to give her name, come with us. So it was Mark and I, and we're in the upstairs with this, with the Time reporter, and she's got her little notebook, and we're sitting there, and a guy that I had never seen before. I would say roughly my age, roughly my size, about 6 foot, 190 pounds, and he came up first. We always did two people in an evening, and so he came up. I can't remember his name, but we sat in chairs. I was like here, and Mark was over here. The Time reporter was off to my right, and off to my left is this guy. We're upper floor, upper story in an unfinished garage, about a 3-4 car garage, unfinished below and unfinished above. There was all the framework were there on the roof, but that was about it. Single little light. We sat right directly underneath. And so Mark and I began to command demons to come out of this guy. It's not unusual that not much happens early on. Sometimes it takes a while, but this took a long time. I would say probably a half hour of Mark and I doing all the necessary things we had done. We had no ritual or liturgy or formula that we followed. But here we are, it's cold, and Mark and I are really working at this, working up a sweat. And the young woman who was taking the notes, we were a little bit embarrassed. We thought, well, for sure, she just thinks we're crazy weirdo Christians. And in fact, we sort of felt like that ourselves. So we're there and nothing's going on. And I was thinking that we got to call a halt to this. This isn't working, and somehow face the embarrassment and end this thing. When all of a sudden, the chair goes back, and this guy flies backwards. I would say probably 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 feet. If there had been ceiling, he would have hit it. He hit above, between two what he calls studs, and bam, fell all the way down on the ground, and there I was. And so Mark and I go over and pick him up, put him on the chair, and so we're going to try again. So we continued to do this, but we're a little bit excited now because, okay, now the demonic presence has revealed itself. Okay, so this wasn't just a waste of time. So after a few minutes, bam, again, chair down, the guy flies through, falls down. Mark and I bring our chairs over and proceed to cast 3, 4, 5 demons out of him. After that second time, it was fairly simple. He went downstairs. A young woman came out this time, and in a relatively quick period, again, in the name of Jesus, demons were cast out. That was the end of it. Probably it was about a 2-hour event, all told, and I drove the Time reporter home, and I waited to see the edition. I have the edition someplace in my house here. It has a red background and a black, like, hooded witch on the front of it. And I tried to find it to show you, but I couldn't. But I read the story, it was not there. I called the woman. I said, I read the story. There's nothing about the events that took place up in our Novato Deliverance Temple. And she said she submitted the story, but the editor thought it was too impossible and deleted the whole thing. All right, that is that story. And I just have to say, Jesus continues to cast out demons today. In our church, for those without a church, our CWC, we are intending, when we get fully ready to go, to have opportunities for people to receive this kind of ministry. We haven't figured it out yet, but we're hoping to do that. So long.